Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's a beautiful day out here. I'm in the balcony chilling, having some tea, having some talk with you guys. So in this video we are talking about testosterone. Testosterone are such crucial parts of our body, or such crucial elements for us, because it gives us offspring, semen, and without it we can't do reproduction. But that's theory. On the practice, it helps you, or it enables you to build more muscle, become more confident, masculine, and all of these wonderful things that you probably want in your life. So the chances are, if you're watching this video, the chances are you're in your late teens, or maybe you're in your 20s, in your 30s, and you don't really need testosterone replacement therapy or all of this unnatural stuff. So I'm going to be only talking about natural stuff that you can change in your life, or maybe lifestyle shifts that can be easily implemented if you just take a couple of steps and if you just take responsibility for that. So yeah, let's begin the video. The first thing is, I've actually made some notes, so I'm gonna read them because sometimes I'll outline them. The first thing, right off the bat, if you are consuming alcohol, drugs, all of these substances that that give brain fog to your mind and that alter your way of thinking or your body and all of these things, then you should cut it off. Alcohol, drugs, all of these things are really horrible for your not only for testosterone, but also for your health, for your overall well-being, and you as a man, it's gonna be really horrible. So if you are doing that, consistently drinking alcohol, or even science has proven that consistently drinking even one bottle of beer for each day, 5 days, is gonna reduce your testosterone. So you're gonna cut that off. And if you're doing that, it's just a simple thing that not that you have to do, but you just have to stop doing. So that's simple. Alcohol, drugs, cut it off. The second thing, this is very interesting, guys. So if you want to increase testosterone naturally, you gotta do some things which are physically demanding of your body, I can say. So the second thing is train legs. Now, why am I saying train legs, but not specifically train legs, but not just workout? The reason for that is quite simple, guys. So 45% of all of the muscles in your body are in your lower body. So up from your hips, upper body, down from your hips, lower body. So your abdomen, legs, all of these things, 45%. So it means more or less 50% of all of the muscle in your body is in your lower part, legs, glutes, quads, and stuff like that. So when you train legs, you actually, and this is very important, when you train legs with compound movements, you are actually targeting a lot of muscle groups in one exercise. So when you target and stimulate a lot of muscle groups at once, it's going to give you a lot of protein synthesis, if I'm not mistaken. That's what it's called. But if I'm mistaken, it's going to just stimulate a lot of muscles at the same time. So when you train legs, it's going to, in the short term and also in long term, it's going to increase your testosterone naturally. So the more muscles you stimulate, the better it's going to be for your body to actually start producing testosterone and all these growth hormones and protein synthesis. So that's simple, okay? Train legs, that's number 2. Number 3, this is very, very interesting, diet. And you all know that we all should be eating good and stuff like that, but when I say diet, I don't necessarily mean this diet we all like to think of. We all like to think of diet as cutting down on food and eating only healthy stuff and greens and stuff like that, and there's nothing wrong with that. You should do that, but the problem with that is testosterone is increased naturally by products like yolks, egg yolks, tuna, beef, and all of these protein-rich stuff, fats, carbs, all of these things, but not necessarily only from vegetables. So you really have to consider that. Another thing is, I'm not really sure about this, and this is gonna sound ridiculous, but you have to consume a lot of garlic. Now, I don't want to do that, and I don't recommend you to do that if you don't want to, but garlic does not increase your testosterone, but it helps decrease cortisol levels, which are the enemies of testosterone. So I'm gonna talk about that later in this video. So anyways, you can try that if you want to. I don't want to try. It sounds actually not really pleasurable, or something that I don't really look forward to. So we're gonna skip to the next one. So the next one is very important, sleep. I know this sounds very basic and banal and obvious, but if you want to grow your body, if you want to rest, and if you want to be ready, have energy for the next day, probably it's really obvious you have to be getting sleep. Like you know, a lot of people who don't really have experience in fitness and stuff, they think that they grow when they are at the gym working out, but the reality is you grow when you are sleeping, when you are recovering. So if you want to really increase your testosterone levels, if you want to get enough sleep, and not get enough sleep, but if you want to increase your muscle mass and stuff like that, sleep is very important and you just can't overlook. Additionally, there has been one study done that they calculated that for every additional hour that you sleep, your testosterone levels increase by 15%. So I think this is just crazy to realize that just simple thing as sleep can produce more testosterone, and it just can help you with your overall lifestyle, your fitness, your body, your physique, yada yada. So the next one is kind of a bit tricky, but I hope that you can understand it, and I hope that the thing that I'm gonna say will make sense. So the next one is live stress-free. Now, of course, it's impossible for us to live stress-free and live without problems and obstacles in our lives, but I guess what I'm just trying to say is that the more stress you have, the less testosterone you have, okay? So why I was recommending to eat garlic in the first place was that garlic directly influences the plummet of cortisol levels, the stress levels. So this means that your T levels will go up. And by living stress-free, I don't really mean you don't have to have problems and stuff like that. Of course, you have to have problems, and you know, the quality of your problems identify the quality of life you're gonna have. I think I've read it in Cellular of Not Giving a Fuck. Anyways, so you will have problems, but the approach is very, very different. When you see problems and you stress about it, you are losing to that problem. But instead, what you can do is you see a problem and you can approach that problem from a position of a problem solver, from a position of a person who thinks logically, doesn't attach to the problem emotionally. So you know, it's not really about testosterone. Even women like carefree men. Okay, they like men that don't really get into their heads too often, and they don't stress much. So I guess overall, just living stress-free and being more or less okay with the circumstances in your life is gonna affect your testosterone it's gonna affect your testosterone levels very much. I myself can say that when I was having, let's say, bad times or depressions, all of those things, I automatically didn't want to lift weights. I automatically was feeling bad. My body was bad. Everything was bad. So I don't recommend you this. In overall, what you can do is just try to live stress-free, approach your problems from a position of problem solver, not from a position of a person who attached to his or her problems emotionally. So that was it. And the sixth one, I'm not really sure about this. It is going to be the last point, but you can actually try supplementations. Now, if from 1 to 5 nothing's helping and you seem to do everything, but you still have low testosterone levels, or maybe your performance is bad, or maybe your sex drive is low, or maybe like all of these things, maybe if they are bad, maybe you can try some supplementations. Now, I don't recommend you to do anything because I have never tried it, and I'll probably try not to try them. But there are a lot of things like vitamin D, or like even all of these obvious things, just like getting sun, like I'm doing right now, because when you're getting vitamin D, it directly influences testosterone growth or something like that. So all of these supplements, they can be helpful, but I'm not sure about that. I'm not an advisor, I'm not a doctor, so don't listen to me, listen to the professionals. And I'm not really sure about this, but I'm just giving this idea in case from 1 to 5 all of these points that I made in this video are not working. You can come to supplementations and maybe seek help in this situation. Okay, so if you enjoyed this video so far, hit the thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. I'm gonna enjoy this cup of tea and get back inside because it's kind of getting cold now. So I'll see you in the next one. If you have any comments, questions, recommendations, whatever that might be, leave them down in the comments and I'll make sure to answer them. See you in the next one. Kaiser signing out.